Hey everybody. Today I want to talk a little bit about the new Google Pixel phone. Um, I'm usually the Apple fanboy of the group. I'm usually the one sporting my iPhone, and everybody around me has Androids. They've got their Samsungs, or they're touting whatever cheap phone they could afford, or whatever. And I'm still sitting over here paying my premium for my iPhone. And the reason why is because I like a phone that just works. Okay, I haven't given Android a fair shake for 4 or 5 years now because I had such a bad experience with them early on, and my life lives in an Apple ecosystem now. I've got an iMac, I've got a MacBook Pro, I've got an iPhone, I've got an iPad, I've even got an Apple Watch. Everything to me revolves around my Apple centric situation, and so I really have no reason to give Android a try. But I realize that other people like Android and they want to check out what the new phones are. Um, Google's taken a really interesting approach with the new Pixel phone. Um, they dropped the Nexus line, which baffles me because I don't think they had any ill will in the Nexus line. The name worked. I know that Google's new alphabet is to try and disassociate the search brand from all of their other stuff. They've sold off some of their properties and they've switched them all to different companies, and they all fall under the Google alphabet. I don't know why they needed Pixel, unless there was some kind of a branding deal with um, Asus and Samsung and people who've previously built their phones for them. Maybe they're just trying to distance themselves from that and call it a true Google phone, but they didn't want to put the Google name on it because they want Google associated with the search engine, which is all fine. But I'm looking at the features of the Pixel, and I'm kind of confused why everybody is talking about how great this phone is. Um, Google Assistant is pretty amazing. It's finally Siri for the Android. Um, they have they're calling it a turbocharged Siri of sorts here in this article that I'm looking at. Um, it will search through your photos and it will connect to your devices and that sort of thing. But Apple's been doing this with HomeKit and not necessarily being able to search your photos and stuff, but they've been doing deep integration with Siri for several versions now. So I think Google's just finally kind of catching up to the bar on this one. Um, Granted, Google usually does things better than most, and in fact, their Google Assistant may be better than Siri in a plethora of ways, but I'm going to leave the jury out on that one. Um, Another thing they're touting about the Pixel phone is the unlimited high quality photo and video storage. So no matter how much 4K video you take or how many 12 megapixel pictures you take, you can upload them for free if you buy the Pixel phone. Really, all they're doing is cutting into their revenue stream because you can do this on literally any other phone. You just have to pay for it. So I guess they're deciding to eat it to try and make more out of a phone than what it already is. Anytime you start giving away a product that you normally charge for free because you bought a piece of hardware, that makes me think that possibly you've been overcharging for the service, or your product is underwhelming and you need to add something to it. Um, they talk about smart storage and your photos and videos getting automatically uploaded to Google storage when you're about to run out of space on your phone. Again, Apple's been doing this with iCloud for a while. This is not something new. It's something that desperately needed to happen because even your 32 gig phones, you're going to run out of space really quick. 128 gig, not so much, but you're backing up a lot to the cloud if you've got a 128 gig phone and you're running out of space. So they did put a 2K screen instead of a 1080p in their larger size Pixel phone, their Pixel XL, which is great. There reaches a point where how many pixels do you need? I'm not saying that it's going to be a bad screen, but pixels alone do not drive success in a screen. You have to have brightness, you have to have clarity, you have to have a processor that can drive it, and the quad-core processor that's in the Pixel seems to be a good processor. I'm sure it's great for gaming, and Google has finally got a Android operating system with their own hardware that they can program to, and hopefully they'll be able to reach the levels of performance that Apple's been able to reach by controlling their own ecosystem. But again, time will tell. I just hope that they've got enough oomph to drive that 2K screen. Next, they're talking about Daydream, which is their new VR platform. Again, it's a $20 VR headset that you can put your Pixel in and watch movies like you're inside of a movie theater, which just means that your actual viewing screen is even smaller than it was before. I hope that that's a huge success. I hope they bring it to other platforms. I don't think that mobile is ready for VR yet, but hey, I would love to be proved wrong on that. I think that if anybody can do it, Google's at the top of the list. They've got the money to invest in it. Lastly, they're touting background OS updates, and they specifically say, just like how iPhone gets updates from Apple. But because there's Android Nougat on these new phones, they'll download and install them automatically when you're on Wi-Fi, and when you reboot your phone, you'll just be on the newer version of Android without even knowing it. That scares the crap out of me. I'm going to be perfectly frank. Every single version of every operating system that comes out has some kind of a problem with it. Sometimes they're super minor, sometimes they're huge, and the idea that they're just going to push down an update to a device, and if I have to reboot it for some reason, I just get stuck with the new version, that honestly scares the bejeebies out of me. I would not like that whatsoever. The last thing that they tout as a great feature for the Pixel is that it still has the 3.5mm headphone jack. I'm sorry guys, but the oh my god, the iPhone doesn't come with a headphone jack trope is getting a little old. It came with an adapter. I personally have had my iPhone 7 Plus for over a week. That's what I'm recording this video on. I have not needed my adapter yet. The only thing that I know that I'm going to need my adapter for is my Square card reader, which I have done the research online. It does work. I haven't even used the Lightning headset on mine because I had a set of LG Bluetooth headphones, and in my car a long time ago I got a $35 Logitech Bluetooth adapter for the line in on my car, so that when I get in I'm just automatically connected, and if I want to play my music or an audiobook or whatever I can, there's no wires involved. So the headphone jack is not that big a deal. It's not a deal breaker, and if every phone from now until the end of time has to tout a feature of it's still got its headphone jack, that's going to wear thin really, really fast. Analog ports are going the way of the dodo, and we may not like it, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen on Android phones very, very soon. There's a lot of them that already have audio through USB-C and through micro USB connections and that sort of thing. Everybody's going the way of either wireless or a connector that is not analog, because it allows you to have so much more control. It's the way things are going to go in the future, and people just need to accept that. They can kick and scream all they want, but it's as inevitable as the tides. The only thing consistent is change. So I know I've been a little bit hard on it, but honestly, the new Google Pixel and Pixel XL look like they're going to be good phones. If you're an Android user, if that's the ecosystem that you're in, I say give it a try. Their prices are comparable to an iPhone, so it's going to be a premium brand. Say what you will. If you're already paying for a premium brand, I'd go with something that's a little more tried and tested. The screen and the camera on the thing look great. I'm sure it'll take excellent pictures. That's something that everybody seems to be doing with their phones nowadays. Again, if Android is your thing, this is definitely a phone worth taking a look at. I think that a lot of their features that they have touted as amazing features for their phone are stuff that they're catching up to the game on. I think that Google's a little late to get into the smartphone market and really be a breakout. But having said all that, I do understand the appeal of having a phone that is made by the same company that writes the software for it. That's one of the reasons why I love my iPhone and why it just works. If anybody can make the software work, it's the manufacturer of the hardware. So I hope this turns into an amazing phone for Google. I hope that everybody that gets one absolutely loves it. I hope that the Pixel takes off because I want to see Apple start competing and allowing developers access to the NFC chip inside of the iPhone, allowing us access to some of the newer features and the things that they have built into the phone and that they haven't yet put into the phone, but they need to in order to keep up. And I think that the Pixel is probably the phone that's come the closest so far to reaching the quality and user experience level of an iPhone, so that hopefully it will drive competition and get Apple to innovate and do more, both with their existing hardware and with future models. Now, I don't see that happening in next year's iPhone, but Apple has the next model year after that to really open things up and dazzle people with a new phone when the iPhone 8 comes out. And that gives Google a year or two to perfect the Pixel and see what they need to do different, because there's going to be things that people don't like about it. It's going to have its problems. They're going to run into their software challenges. But I think in the next 2 or 3 years that the Pixel could be a major contender to help drive change in the industry and get us all better phones. Having said that, I realized just now that I've done a review on the Pixel that I don't even own, and I haven't even done a review on my iPhone 7 Plus, so maybe tomorrow I'll get out my 6 Plus to do the video on it and show you my 7 Plus and tell you what I think of it. Spoiler alert, I love it. But I think that's where I'm going to sign off for today, guys. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, etc. And I want to know what you guys think. Is this channel working for you? Is it not working for you? I'm not getting any comments. I'd love to have comments on what's going on with these videos, ideas of things that you guys would like to hear me talk about. I know about flooring, about 3D printing, about blacksmithing. Those that know me know that I've got lots of hobbies and lots of friends with even more hobbies, so I'm more than happy to share my wisdom and my experience with some of these things. If not, I'll just keep picking topics and talk about whatever the heck I want. So I'll see you guys next time.